has seen yet in this tournament.
This is Jay from the Copper Skillet. You're listening to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky. Looking forward to seeing you guys coming down here.
Big J out there, Copper Skillet. We need a good meal out there in Martinez, California. But I got to know, Shasky, we've known Gary Washburn for a while. Boston Globe, national NBA writers, my brother from another mother. How the hell did he do Boston and send him to Paris? I'm so jealous. Wait, we got Wash on the air? Oh, Gary Washburn on the air. Live on the River Islands guest line, live from Paris, France. Gary, man, who the hell did you dupe? Who'd you trick to get out there to pay Reed?
Man, I got to tell you that off the air, man. I can't tell the entire Bay Area and all your outlets my secrets, man. But yeah, maybe one day, man. We'll get, Bonte, we'll get you to L.A. in 28, man. Maybe you can take the Greyhound down there, man.
Greyhound? 1973?
No, that's when you're balling on the budget, man. Gary understands the business. We're broke out here in these streets, man.
Exactly,
man. And that's going to be early.
High cost of living in San Francisco.
Yeah, you know what time it is. And, that's going to be a homecoming for G. Watts because he's from down there in the L.A. area. So I know he's looking forward to that. But you're out there in Paris, and you got to see a special game yesterday on the special team. And there's no doubt I think they're going to win gold. Shasky we got a bet, actually, Shasky, that you believe USA was going to lose a game. So don't forget, I didn't forget about the bet. But Kevin Durant came back. You heard the highlight. But the big talking point after that game, obviously, was a guy you cover on a day-to-day basis, and that's Jayson Tatum not playing yesterday. This is a 3-time first-team All-NBA member, and he doesn't get a second. Steve Kerr said afterwards, I was reading your quotes and your story, Gary, that he felt like an idiot for doing it. He's going to play the next game. But did you think, because during the game, Gary, I thought he was sick or injured. Did you think the same thing on why he wasn't playing? Did you think that maybe he took an ankle or got sick or something?
Yeah, I thought it was something because he just did not look engaged. Not to say he was not interested. He just did not look like he was going to play. He looked like a guy who was told before the game that he was not going to play, and I think that's what happened. So, he went through the motions. He cheered his teammates. He was supportive. It wasn't like he was a malcontent on the bench, but just from his body expressions, his body movements, and you could just tell when a guy knows he's not playing. And it just wasn't any kind of action to show that he was going to play. Like, even at halftime, he was the last guy to come back to the bench, and he went straight to the bench. He didn't even take any shots at halftime. So someone told him, whether it be Kerr or one of the assistants, like, we're going to sit you, we're going to let KD take those minutes, and then we'll figure it out from there on the next game against South Sudan. So it was definitely an interesting situation because he was probably the second best player on Team USA in Tokyo. Obviously, Durant was the best.
Right.
But you got a lot of new players now on this team, obviously with Steph and LeBron, and it's a different dynamic. But you got to think that Tatum has a role on this team. But as we saw yesterday, maybe not.
Well, I guess there's two elements to it, right? Like, obviously, you look at it like, oh my God, on the survey, Jayson Tatum's got to play. To your point, and then you like peel the onion back a little, and it's like, well, someone's got to sit. You can't play all 12 guys every single game, right? So, especially if there are closer games that are going to be down the stretch here, who would be the guy that's the odd man out?
Well, that's a good question. Some people are saying Devin Booker. Some people are saying you should just send Embiid back to Philadelphia because he's been so bad.
I might be one of those.
Yeah, some guys don't do well. As we all remember, Tim Duncan in 2004. Like, some guys are great NBA players and they get into the international stage and it just doesn't show. And then we've all seen with the guys like Patty Mills, the guys who are pretty good on the NBA level look like Steph on the international level. So, it's just, you just never know. And I just think you got to mix and match here. Obviously, as we've seen, Tyrese Halliburton is probably not going to play unless it's a blowout. He'll probably get some minutes in a game just to say he played, but he's not going to play. Kerr obviously likes this combination of Drew Holiday and Derek White for defense. He's starting Devin Booker, and Devin's actually trying on defense, so that's a good thing. So some people could say, well, you could take Devin Booker's minutes and give them to Tatum. You got to have a role for KD, although I don't think you want to go and play him 25, obviously 40-minute game. You're not trying to play him 25 or 28 minutes. You're trying to play him 18 to 20 because he's so effective with the scoring. And then obviously you're playing LeBron and you're playing Steph, you're playing those guys considerable minutes. So, it's not easy. It's not an easy decision. You got 11 NBA All-Stars on the team and another guy, White, who went all defense. So those are egos there. And we've seen in past, I remember the Draymond Olympics where he didn't play as much as he thought, and he was kind of chilling next to Jimmy Butler on the bench, like, what the hell are we doing here? Sometimes it goes like that. And this is a not just an all-star team, but this is a team they're obviously trying to win. And there's already, with the thing with Jaylen Brown, there's already been some egos hurt. So this is a tough process.
I have to guess that a lot of Bostonians are probably not fans of Steve Kerr at the moment, considering what's gone on with Team USA and Tatum and Jaylen Brown, as we're talking to Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe here on the River Islands guest line. So overall, watching Curry, Durant, and LeBron, because we started our show today, Wash, talking about those three players. And yes, they're getting older. This is probably their last Olympic run. But it really made me appreciate what these guys have done over the course of their career. LeBron's playing at an unbelievable level. KD, you mentioned him yesterday, doing what he did. And then you got Steph still in the show at the end there with the three and looking back at the bench and not even watching the ball go through the hoop. How fun has it been to watch those three guys play together?
Well, yeah, it's a rare thing, Bonte. I mean, like this, we're never going to see this again. I mean, Steph and LeBron and KD as teammates, like, this ain't happening no more. So we better treasure this. And I think it was cool that, finally Team USA and Steph were able to kind of come together and have him on the team. And then LeBron kind of coming back after 12 years, and then KD kind of doing a swan song. So that's some of the things, too, when you talk about minutes. Like, your top minute getter is 139, the other's about to be 36, and the other's 36. So that's kind of unexpected. Those guys of that age generally don't play in the Olympics anymore. They're generally done. So that's also a factor into minutes. But I think we should treasure these times, especially to get to see LeBron and Steph play. Two rivals, obviously, face each other in the finals 4 times, 4 years in a row, and just have had their issues on the floor, but then coming together and playing for Team USA.
So, how are they being perceived in the arena and in the city right now? These are mega stars. There's a lot of what I would call like under the radar stars in other sports. Like I was watching, equestrians?
Equestrian, yeah. Shasky's watching equestrian.
I didn't know who any of those people were. And I know Simone Biles is very popular, but right. Are these I know we're in the basketball world, so we're probably more jaded, but how are Steph and LeBron and Kevin Durant, how are they being perceived amongst the other athletes that are there in the Olympic Village? How are they being perceived by the fans in those arenas and just, amongst all the other athletes out there? Because LeBron's like name recognition, it's LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder how they're being viewed.
Well, it's a big The only person that they don't like in France is Embiid because he turned down the opportunity to play for France and play for Team USA. So every time he got the ball, they booed. So everybody else here is a hero. Now we'll see what happens if they face up with France in the knockout round, how that goes. But there are a lot of in the crowd yesterday, a lot of LeBron jerseys, a lot of Steph jerseys, a huge roar when LeBron made a play or Steph hit a three. The whole anti-American thing, that doesn't really resonate with the NBA. These guys are heroes throughout the world. And I just think the one thing, guys, like when you get NBA players out here and they're all multimillionaires, they ain't going to stay in the Olympic Village, right? You're not putting these guys in the Olympic Village. You're putting them in a 5-star hotel, or in some years in Rio, they all stayed on a boat together. Yep. You're going to give them first-class 5-star accommodations here, and that's to get them here. So, you're not going to see LeBron strolling around at the Olympic Village eating a turkey sandwich in the cafeteria. I just, like you would if you're on the track team or you're on the equestrian team or, you're on the field hockey team. That's the thing that, unfortunately, the disconnect between the basketball team and other athletes for Team USA is probably the only time they get to see these guys is at the opening ceremonies, because they're staying at another hotel. They're staying in Lille, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Paris. So they're not close to like the the guys from the boxing team or guys that you would think would be walking around, hey, that's, taking selfies. I think they're complimentary of those guys, but that interaction just, unfortunately, because of, how it goes with getting these guys to come here, they ain't going to stay in no dorm room.
Yeah, you imagine that. Bunk beds with KD and LeBron. Tatum and Steph in bunk beds in the dorm room.
Where would Steph put his golf clubs?
Yeah, right? A little 5x5. G-Wash here on the River Islands guest line. What else do you do? Are you taking in the other events? Are you going? Well, I guess you're so far away from Paris that you can't probably get to all the events that's happening in Paris. But what's your itinerary?
Yeah.
What's your schedule like when you're not covering basketball, G-Wash?
Well, honestly, I'm just getting to know this. Like, we didn't know much about Lille. Like, I had never heard of it, and even how to pronounce it. I was Lille. We were all over the place. But it's Lille, and it's a really cool city. It is a really neat suburb of Paris. It's lively. I mean, you're just you're walking in France, and you're seeing, like, stereotypically, like, these outdoor bars and French music playing, and you're like, wow, like, is this like a movie or something? Like, this is really like it is, how it is out here. And so Lille's a really cool town, and the people are very nice. It's very modern. So, like, I'm just enjoying being here. I don't get to Paris till next week for the knockout round, so I haven't been, usually in my Olympic assignments, I'm able to do maybe some other sports. And, hey, man, I'm going to, you know what, man, I'm going to go watch, like, breakdancing or something, And first of all, Bonte, like, don't we got to win that? Like, don't we got to win breakdancing, man? Isn't that
people still breakdance? I mean, G-Wash, this ain't the 80s, man. I know when you was rocking a flat top with the line in your head. I mean, it was just supposed to years ago.
That, right? Aren't we the favorites?
Exactly.
I ain't call Vegas or nothing, but we got to be favorites to win the breakdancing gold.
I didn't even know that. I'm going to watch that. What is that? I'm actually going to watch that. They got the 3-on-3.
Like breakdancing or skateboarding. So, like, we got to win one gold in one of them joints. But
yeah, I agree.
It's awesome to be in an atmosphere, Olympic atmosphere, where every day and dreams are being fulfilled. And with some of these athletes, some of these countries, it's just a dream for them to be here. And I just think that's what we take. We're so into LeBron and Steph and the USA and getting gold. We kind of take for granted these players and athletes from countries that are small, that work so hard to get here and will only run in one heat.
Yeah.
But, hey, they broke, like, their national record, or they got to the, like today, Nigerian women won their first basketball game in 20 years. They beat Australia, like, to me, or even the South Sudan story, guys. But yesterday, them winning, like, those are some of the special parts of being here.
Well, hey, our YouTube chat right now, Gary, is telling us that France takes breakdancing very seriously. So U.S. may have their work cut out for them, man. Paris, enjoy it, man. Paris is a great city. I hope you have a lot of fun. Cover all the events. We're so jealous back here in the States. But you're having the time of your life, obviously, covering Team USA and his Olympic team. It's a lot of fun there. I know, and by the way, I'm sure all the Boston Celtic fans are not big fans of Steve Kerr, right? Because we were there in the finals a couple years ago.
Not right now.
Yeah, never, right? They don't like Steve Kerr.
Celtics play the Warriors. Yeah, that might be an interesting game with Jalen and having some beef with Team USA, and then, now Jayson's on that list. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like it was in Boston this past season when they lost by 50, Shasky. Remember that on Sunday?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we don't want to remember that one. Gary, enjoy Paris, man. Thanks so much for spending some time with us overseas, man. Enjoy it. You deserve it, man. We're following your work over there overseas. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Gary Washburn, man. So cool. River Islands guest line for the Boston Globe. But started off with Tatum, and he said he saw the body language. I saw the body language. Can't tell me a 3-time first-team All-NBA member is happy about not playing a single second. And I get it. There's so many ballers on this team. But it's Jayson Tatum. We consider